This is Mountain Vision. Welcome to the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Your home for all things Manchester High School football. With head coach Evan Huckstetler and your host, J.J. Hush.
Hello and welcome to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, J.J. Hush, with the coach in the Manchester Blue Devils, Coach Evan Huckstetler. Coach, thank you again for your time this week.
Thank you.
So you traveled on the road. You went down to Macon, Georgia, and you guys came out with a good win over Northeast Macon by a final score of 40-10 on Friday night.
Yes, feels good anytime you win on Friday night. That's a good night. It's easier to wake up on Saturday morning when you win. It was actually our first win on the road this year, so the kids were excited about that.
And that's what you guys are definitely going to need, especially coming into the region schedule. Those road games are important. It's hard to get those wins on the road, and a lot of times you take it for granted if you get those, but it's nice to get those wins.
Yes, anytime you're out of routine as far as your daily activities go. I know we had to get out of class a little bit earlier to pack. Then we went to eat at the deli here in Manchester, and then we got on the bus and took off to Macon. And teenagers, anytime they're out of routine, sometimes they lose focus. So, again, we take the road games as a business approach. We go do our job and come home. And I was proud of the kids Friday night.
And like I said, that's a good thing for you guys, especially coming up in the region play when you go to places. I think you guys go to Heard County later on in the year and stuff like that. Those are going to be unfriendly confines to go into.
Yes, Heard County and Bremen, they have a very strong fan base behind their football team. It helps, too, that both of them got outstanding coaching staff and very good football players. So you add a coaching staff, football team, and a fan base, they're very difficult to go in to play. I know Bremen's about 2 hours away. Heard County's about an hour away. So both those road games will be tests later down the road.
Let's talk a little bit about that Northeast game, starting on the defensive side of the ball. It seemed like you guys did a very good job of keeping that run game intact. They tried to run the ball a lot early in that ball game. Talk a little bit about the defensive line play and how you guys stopped the run.
Yes, the front four on the defensive side of the ball, they're getting better each week. This past Friday, looking at film, they improved more from any game than they have all year long. We did give up our outside shoulders a few times, but other than that, our defensive line, their height level staying lower. They're making more plays. They're shedding blocks a lot better. I know Jackson and Mahone and Dixon had good games. We rested Jackson on the defensive side more than we have in the past, and let Jimmy Lee Rose play the defensive line spot. Defensive tackle with J.T. Waller. Both of them did a good job. Jackson had to play a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball, but the kids we threw out there on the defensive line this past Friday did an outstanding job.
Talking about Mahomes a little bit, on tape, just looking at it, he did a great job when they did spread it out and try to throw the football. He got pressure on the quarterback and made it difficult for Northeast to get it out comfortably.
The good thing about Quay Mahomes, number 84, he's a sophomore, and his ceiling's a lot higher than most average high school football players. He's a high academic kid. He's smart. He's starting to mature a little bit more each week. He's coming into his own. He gets after it on the defensive side of the ball, and now that he's comfortable on the defensive side of the ball, we have started looking at him at tight end a little bit more. So we're throwing more information at him and asking him to do more on the football field, and he's capable of taking in all that.
We'll talk a little bit about the player that stood out the last 2 weeks for you guys, and that's Brown on the defensive side of the ball. He made a bunch of big plays Friday night, most of them behind the line of scrimmage.
Yes, C. Brown did an outstanding job. Like you said, he's getting better each week. He made a lot of tackles this past week. They're in the pro I twins or sometimes two top I formation, and we change our keys up every now and then at the linebackers, and they're reading fullback. This past Northeast Macon, the fullback usually took you to the ball, and he did what he was coached to do. He played downhill. He played downhill very fast, and he was reacting to his read, and he was having fun.
Yeah, it seemed like that he was in a good position. He put himself in the good spots to make plays, and he even had a fumble recovery in that ball game.
Yes, he has the nose for the football. A good thing about him, he's not that tall, so his hat level is already low. So when he drops his hip level, he's in good position when he makes a correct read. And if he gets his hands on you as a defender, most of the time you're going down. So.
Yeah, and it seemed like that he was setting the tone, and it seemed like that whole defense, the linebacker crew and stuff like that, was making a lot of tackles behind the line of scrimmage. It seemed like to be a trend Friday night.
Yes. Some of it had more to do with Northeast Macon. They didn't quite come off the ball as good as teams we have seen in the past couple of weeks. But on the flip side of that, we did not play to their level. We played to our level, and we got better. I know that there's a few times, like I said, we're giving our outside shoulder, but for the most part, our defensive front plugged the holes and allowed the linebackers to make plays.
Talk a little bit about Anthony Bell, also on that defensive side of the football, usually known as an offensive player, of course, but he has really developed, as we've talked about the last few weeks, about being a better defensive player, and he even had an interception later in the ball game on Friday.
Yes, he's getting more comfortable with the defensive side of the ball, and our outside linebackers, we ask a lot of them defensively because sometimes they drop back in coverage, and sometimes they have to be the middleman on trips. So they're all over the place. They're not set in one position where they just play football. So they have to see the formation. They have to get a line, and then they have to read their keys. So there's 2 or 3 things every single play they have to do before the ball snaps. So the thinking aspect of Bell is smaller and smaller each week because he's learning more and more about what we ask him to do in the 4-4 scheme. So the more he learns, the faster he plays, and that's only a plus for this football team.
Yeah, Northeast Macon, they seem like that they were changing up their scheme a little bit, like they spread it 4 or 5 wide sometimes, and that's good to see that, especially with your defensive backs. And they actually had DeMarcus Addy, I believe, had an interception in that ball game in the red zone. So it seems like that your defensive pass defense has been strong pretty much all the year.
Yes, they're improving. Each week they're getting better and better. And it seems like each week another player is making the plays, and that's a good thing. You don't want one person that's really strong and the other ones are weak. They're all very good high school football players. They're all making good plays. I know Preacher Man had a good night Friday. We also had a free safety that we hadn't looked at that much in that spot. Gamble, he played free safety quite a bit in the first half, and he did an outstanding job as well.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Football season is here. Get your lineup ready with your favorite team accessories at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware. Flags, banners, and all types of fan gear. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Don't forget about the great selection of Carhartt clothing and Georgia boots, too. We have everything you need to make it through your work week till game day here at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Manchester. Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Return to 1911 and enjoy art, antiques, crafts, delicious Southern food, and lively entertainment at the 83rd edition of the Cotton Pickin' Fair, a Southeast Tourism Society Top 20 event, October 3rd and 4th in Gay, Georgia. Visit cpfair.org.
Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. So, Coach, defense and offense, that's stuff that you usually get done, but it seems like the special teams this year has been slow in coming along, but this week it looked like they made some strides. They forced a turnover, and then they took one to the house to begin that second half.
Yes, we're starting to understand our football players a little bit better, who can play what on special teams. And you're right, they are getting better each week. We still got ways to go. I know Little Gamble took one to the house. He is very explosive, and that's one of the situations where we had an injury to a senior, and we put a freshman in his place, and he answered the bell. He answered the call. He did what the coaching staff asked him to do, and we're looking forward to seeing what else he can do on special teams. And our kickoff coverage is getting better each week. I think we're running to the ball better. We're staying in our lanes, and we're trying to put the hat on the ball.
And, special teams is one of those things. Sometimes it gets overlooked in a lot of things, but that's such an important part of the game, especially limiting those big plays when you're playing in that region play.
Yes, anytime you can win the special team battle, it's a plus. I know special teams usually make up close to 15% of the game, and that don't seem like that much, but 15% can either break you or it can break the opponent. And as a football coach, I just want to try to get even the special teams or win the special teams battle. We try not to give up the big play. I know our region play, there's some really good teams out there that play special teams very well. I know Bremen does a good job. They had a kicker to break the record. He was second longest kick in Georgia high school history. That a couple of weeks ago, he kicked a 63-yard field goal, and that's pretty amazing. So anytime they get across the 50, they're a threat to score because of their kicking game. I know Bowden has a really good PAT and field goal kicker. They got a great punter, and Hurd County plays very good special teams as well.
So going to the offensive side of the ball, you guys, it seemed like got a slow start Friday night against Northeast Macon, but it seemed like it started coming around there after halftime. So what would you tell the guys coming in after halftime to kind of get that ball rolling?
Well, the talk at halftime this past Friday, I told them we're going to do what we do. The disappointment in the first half is finishing drives. I know we got inside the 20 a couple of times and didn't score, and some of that is on me as a play caller. This weekend we went back and look at what we could do better inside the 20, and we worked on it today at practice, and so we're trying to give kids a better opportunity to score inside the 20, but we have to finish drives. That's killing us right now, because when we get inside the red zone, we have to finish drives. I know we scored twice in the first half. I thought we might have left two more scores out there on the field, and we should have came in at halftime 28-0. But again, you have to make the plays. If you don't make the plays, you don't score. But at halftime, we told the kids we're going to do what we do. I know they kick it off to us first play of the second half, and Little Gamble took it back to the house. And the next time we got the ball, his brother, Big Gamble, took it to the house on a counter play. So they responded to the coaching at halftime. But again, the first half, we left too many points on the board.
Talk a little bit about Gamble and his running ability. It seems like, at the beginning of the year, he was showing some light of being that one of those breakout backs.
Yes.
And he's just continued to get better week after week.
Yes. He's improving each week as well. He understands the offense a lot better in week 5 than he did in week 1. He knows when we run in the jet and we're successful on the jet that the counter game's coming back. So as a running back, he's running hard on the jet, but he's also blocking very hard on jet because he knows it needs to be successful on both sides. So he's doing a good job blocking. He's doing a good job running the football. I like him. He's a kid that I enjoy being around because he's a yes sir, no sir kid, and he does his job daily.
And as you mentioned, his little brother, made the play on special teams. But sometimes guys try to get him in on the offensive side of the ball. Talk about his development. He's a young kid. I think he's only a freshman. Is that right?
He's a freshman. He's playing a little bit more defensively right now, outside linebacker. So we're still working him in very slowly on the offensive side of the ball. I know at the JV level, he's at the fullback and he's also at the halfback, so he's kind of learning two positions. In the future, I do see him as a fullback in our offense. Him and Turner, both of them come back at the fullback spot, so the future looks pretty bright at fullback.
And even though it got slow going in the first half, Anthony Bell did take a ball to the house there early. I think it was like a 58-yard touchdown run, and he looked like he was pretty strong and got stronger throughout the ball game.
Yes, I was very happy in the fact that he did score from 25 yards out. I think that might have been his longest run of the year. I know he had a catch for close to 40, 50 yards, but on that play, it's just a simple fullback toss. Actually, Gamble was blocking for him, so he did a good job finding the alley, and he took it to the house. ISO was there this past weekend. We ran a lot of ISOs with Bell and Turner and our fullback. So Bell did a pretty good job, did an outstanding job running the ISO, and we got to have that play out of him this coming weekend.
And the run game is so important for you guys, but as we talked about, the pass game seems to be opened up, and Little Bell actually caught a ball and took it for a touchdown as well. So the pass game is still there and it's still helping you guys.
Yes, we did not throw the ball that much this past Friday, but when we were asked our QB to throw the ball, he did an outstanding job. I know we didn't have much time left in the first half, and we were trying to get downfield, and he completed an out route to Preacher Man, and that was a very good ball. And we got inside the 10, we're on about the 7-yard line, and we ran waggle, and he actually hit Ferguson in the hands, and Ferguson dropped it for a touchdown. And 2 plays later on fourth down, he found Little Bell open for a touchdown, did a good job.
And it's so important. You know, Garrett's been pretty good all year with his completion percentage and being accurate, and that's such a good thing for a quarterback with a running offense. When you have to throw the ball, you want to make sure it counts.
Yes, he's doing a good job. He's around 50%. I would like the percentage to be up just a little bit more, but some of it drops, and some of it's in bad situations. 3rd and long is difficult, but he's doing an outstanding job. He has over 400 yards passing. That's pretty good for a wing T quarterback, especially a sophomore, through 5 games. So he's doing a great job.
Also, the interesting stat for this weekend on Friday night was the 2-point conversions. You guys went for it 4 times down there, and you actually converted 3 out of 4. Tell us a little about the mindset about going for 2 and the successful conversions you guys had.
Well, I told the kids on Thursday that we were going for 2. I told them we weren't going to try to trick anybody. We're just going to run on base plays, and that's what we did. I think we scored our 2-point conversions on butt sweep and G-power and ISO, and I thought the kids responded. I know the injury bug kind of bit us this past week. Our PAT kicker was down Monday through Thursday, and he did not practice the PAT, so we weren't going to do it Friday night. And so the kids responded, and we did a good job.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Football season is here. Get your lineup ready with your favorite team accessories at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware. Flags, banners, and all types of fan gear. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Don't forget about the great selection of Carhartt clothing and Georgia boots, too. We have everything you need to make it through your work week till game day here at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Manchester. Time for a new mattress? Wilson's Fine Furniture in Manchester has a great selection. From twin size to king size, Wilson's has it. In fact, Wilson's Fine Furniture is your hometown mattress outlet with name brands like Sealy, Simmons, Serta, and more, all at competitive prices. Wilson's also carries a full line of living room sets from Ashley Furniture. Save big now with 30% off all in-stock living room sets. Pay cash and save even more. And don't forget appliances, your hometown mattress outlet. Wilson's Fine Furniture, Main Street in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Return to 1911 and enjoy art, antiques, crafts, delicious Southern food, and lively entertainment at the 83rd edition of the Cotton Pickin' Fair, a Southeast Tourism Society Top 20 event, October 3rd and 4th in Gay, Georgia. Visit cpfair.org.
With that strong front seven is going to be huge, especially with the run game that you guys like to throw at them. How important is it to get that run game going early against this front seven that Bowden has?
It's extremely important. We have to. We just got to ring the bell and let Bowden know that we're here and we're going to do our foundation. Obviously, there's a scheme that goes about it. If they're doing this, we're going to try to do this, but we have to be able to run the ISOs, the jet, and the butt sweep and the trap and the counter game. If we cannot run that foundation, we're not going to be successful. So it's extremely important. We got to come out and we got to do our job. They're big up front. They got a linebacker that's committed to Charleston Southern. He's 6'3", 265 pounds, and he runs very well. I know last summer before, he ran 4.77. That's really good for a kid that size. And be honest with you, he's probably one of the smartest kids that I have ever been around. He's scored over a 20 on his test scores, and he's a student of the game. So it's going to be a challenge scheming around him. Defensive front, they got some seniors. They got Kenny West. He's 6'6", and he's about 275. And on the other side, they got another senior, Jordan. He's on up there too. So they're old and they're a good football team.
And with the guys at that size level, it's so important to get to them and get to them at the point of attack, low and strong.
Yeah, I preach height level every day. So our height level's got to be low. Our legs got to keep moving. So,
looking at them on the offensive side of the ball, of course, you know, with you there and your father there, you guys ran the wing tee.
Yes.
It looks like they've changed it up a little bit on the offensive side of the ball a little bit.
They have. They're still a run first football team. I tell you what, I told the kids they put a lot of mirrors out there to try to hide some stuff, but they have 7-10 plays that they hang their hats on, and it's 7-10 really good football plays. They run the G power scheme. They run the butt sweep just like Bowden's had in the past, and they run the jet, and they run the quarterback counter, the halfback counter. So it's a very good offense. I know Coach Turner, our defensive coordinator, this weekend. He looks at them offensively, and they have 52 different formations. So they really put a mental test to the football team to compete against. And
that's definitely going to be something different for the defense. You know, they've seen a lot of different formations, but not all on the same football field, not on the same place. So that's going to be definitely something coming into this.
Yes, we have, like I said, alignment and assignments are very important. So we have to get aligned. Then we have to do our assignment. So that's what we're working on. That's the mental part of practice. I told the kids, I said this week it's not only physical, it's a mental part too.
Talk a little bit about the coming into this game as I guess you could say almost a rivalry ball game. Maybe not, but just a region game period. And you preached from the beginning of our show talking about that this was the date that was circled for you guys because it starts your region play, and this is where the games count and they push you towards the playoffs.
No matter if we were playing Bowden, Temple, Bremen, it doesn't matter. This date's been circled since the first day I arrived. We used to not region games to improve each week, and I think we accomplished that. I would have liked to have been 4-1 instead of 3-2, but that's why you play the games on Friday nights. We're ready. We're getting better each week. We're just going to have to go out there and give our best effort. I feel comfortable in the kids and the fact that they believe in our system. They're asking questions and they're putting forth the effort in practice. We have to have a good week of practice. We got to win Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in order to win on Friday.
And you know, Bowden comes in. I believe they're 1-3 on the year so far. So the record does not show exactly how well they've actually played. They played some pretty tough competition coming into this week.
They are 1-3. I know last year we were 2-2, and we could have easily been 1-3. And be honest with you, Bowden, if a couple plays here and there, they could be 3-1. I know the Purple game, they had a bad second quarter, and they take away the second quarter, they probably win that football game. And Darlington this past week, they're the 7th-ranked team in the state of Georgia in Class 2A, and it was an 18-7 ball game, and Bowden was put into them all game long, and again, a couple plays here and there, Bowden wins that game too. So you can throw that 1-3 record out the window. Like I said before, these kids have been in a lot of important games. Their mentality in Bowden is to win region championships. So Coach Andrews and the staff, they have used these past couple games to learn their personnel and learn who could not do certain situations, and so they're going to be ready to play as well.
Who's some of the playmakers on offense that we can look for Bowden to look for us to stop, who can break out in that ball?
Well, it starts up front. The 2 young kids they have up front, Sawyer Brown and Hunter, they're the younger kids, but around them they have Blake Wilkinson's a senior, Kenan West is a senior, and C.J. Brewer is a senior, and they do an outstanding job. They're physical up front. So when you ask me about playmakers, it starts up there. But I guess the skill position, they're all over the place. Obviously, the cowbell to me is probably Shepard. He was a 1,000-yard running back last year. He's a fast kid. He's a powerful kid, and he has pretty good vision in open field. And they got C.J. Bennett. You got the Palmer kid at quarterback. They got playmakers all over the place. We have our hands full.
Maybe not an advantage for you guys, but how much success is it going to be for you guys knowing the team already that you've been with? You're familiar with those guys. You coached them for a few years over there. Does it work to your advantage at all for coaching those guys? And on the other side, is it a disadvantage? They know you, they know your scheme.
Well, I think it's just looking at it and thinking about the question, I think it's a little bit of a disadvantage because they have a new scheme on defense and a new scheme on offense, and yeah, we can say this player he has his strengths here, so we do not need to attack him this way. Maybe he is not as strong as doing something else. Is attack this, and that's a big aspect. But on the flip side, their kids, they know our offense probably better than we know our offense as a Manchester football team. So they've been in it since they were 5 years old. They've been running jet and butt sweep through recreation and all that. And so I think it could be a disadvantage, but it can also be an advantage.
You guys are 2-0 at home at Greg Oglesby Field at Memorial Stadium. How important is it for the fans and the community to come out and push you guys to a victory this weekend? Well,
anytime the community bats the student athletes, that's a blessing. They come out and support the kids. I know a lot of former Manchester football players, they like coming to the games and watching the student athletes. Then you got the parents and the grandparents and so forth. But anytime the community supports our young kids at the high school, middle school level, that's a blessing. And the kids appreciate it, and as the coaching staff, we love it when our fans come out and support us.
So the game is at 7:30 this Friday night. Get there early and get there ready to go for this game against Bowden.
Yes, without a doubt.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap up this edition of the Manchester Football Coaches Show. Make sure you tune in each week for the lowdown on all the Blue Devil football news.
Thank you for watching the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Brought to you by Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware and JT Signs. Join Coach Huck Stetler and your host JJ Hush next week as they continue to review and preview all the Blue Devils football games right here on Mountain Vision. This is Mountain Vision.